Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha
Madhava
Punjabi
Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya
Gopi
Gopi Jana Vallabha
Girivaradhari
Girivaradhari
Jashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Jana
Jamunatira Vanachari.
Yamuna
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha
Madhamada
Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya
Gopi
Gopi
Jana
Jana
Vallabha Girivaradhari
Girivaradhari
Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana
Yashodanandana Vraja
Jana
Jana
Yamuna
Ranjana
Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna
Natira
Vanachari
Vanachari
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya
Prabhupada,
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 Jaya
Srila
Srila
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai,
Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Narayana
Narayana
Namaskrityam.
Naran
Namaskrityam
Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva
Narottamam
Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim
Devim
Saraswatim
Saraswati
Vyasam
Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudirahet.
Tato Jayamudiraye.
Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu.
Nasta Prayesha Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam
Nityam
Bhagavata
Bhagavata
Sevaya
Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati
Bhagavati
Uttama Shloke.
Namashloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir
Bhaktir
Bhavati
Bhavati
Naistiki
Naistiki.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter number 7, text number 32. Prajo Padravam Alakshya Loka Vyatikaram Chatam Matam Jaya Vasudevasya Sangha Arjuno Dvayam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus seeing the disturbance of the general populace and the imminent destructions of the planets, Arjuna at once retracted both Brahmastra weapons, as Lord Sri Krishna desired. Purport: the theory that the modern atomic bomb explosion can annihilate the world is a childish imagination. First of all, the atomic energy is not powerful enough to destroy the world, and secondly, ultimately, it all rests on the supreme will of the Supreme Lord, because without His will or sanction, nothing can be built or destroyed. It is foolish also to think that the natural laws are ultimately powerful. Material nature's law works under the direction of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord says, that the natural laws work under his supervision. The world can be destroyed only by the will of the Lord and not by the whims of a tiny politicians. Lord Sri Krishna desired that the weapons released by both Drauni and Arjuna be withdrawn, and it was carried out by Arjuna at once. Similarly, there are many agents of the all-powerful Lord, and by his will only can one execute what he desires. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpadrubhesta Krupa Sindebhyev Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nivishesha Shunyavadi Vasya Tadesh Tarani Mukam Karati Vachalam Pangalangayate Giri Atpatam Mande Shri Gurum Nintanam Paramanand Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Nilachala Nivasaya Nitya Paramatmane Balavadra Shubhadrabhyam Jagannatha Te Namo Namaha. Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 7th chapter, text number 32. Prajopadravam Alakshya Lokavyati Karancha Tam Matam Cha Vasudevasya Sangha Arjuno Ayam. Thus, seeing the disturbance of the general populace and the imminent destructions of the planets, Arjuna at once retracted both Brahmastra weapons as Lord Sri Krishna desires. Thank you all for joining today morning, Sunday morning program. This is our weekly battery charging moment with the nectarian words of Srimad Bhagavatam from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are in the 7th chapter, 1st canto. Son of Dronacharya, punished Harshottama. Right. We also welcome the spring of 2025. Today is Vasanta Panchami. So, of course, it's here, not in India. India is tomorrow. It's a very, very auspicious day of Vasanta Panchami. There's quite a lot of appearance and disappearance. Today is the appearance of Srimati Vishnupriya Devi. Then disappearance of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Appearance of Pundrika Vidyanidhi, Raghunandan Thakur, Raghunath Das Goswami. So it's a supercharged day in terms of spiritual practice is concerned. And it is such a energetic element that we don't get these kind of rare days so often. So we should grab it with 2 days, 2 hands, whatever we can do as much as we can today and tomorrow. Both the days are very, very auspicious. So any good things which you wanted to do spiritually, even materially also, spiritually especially, it's very, very charged, fully charged. So anyway, coming to this, the translation of Srila Prabhupada's purports for this particular verse is a pretty strong element. It's technical, but it is also very strong. The message is, Srimad Bhagavatam is a serious business matter. Bhagavatam doesn't play around here and there. It is pretty straightforward because Vyasadeva was given that straightforward instruction that he needs to give the message of Godhead directly without any backing from the love of God. So he has presented everything as it is, what will make the living entities to get connected, attracted, and take solace of. So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam is a very serious matter, subject matter, serious business matter, everything in very seriousness. Thus, seeing the disturbance of the general population and imminent destructions of the planets, Arjuna at once, that means immediately, without even thinking or hesitating, he retracted both the Brahmastra weapons as Lord Sri Krishna desire. First thing we need to understand is Prabhupada has mentioned the word Lord in every single page of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, anything. So Lord here exclusively means that it is only Lord Krishna and no one else. Ekala Ishvara Krishna Sambhara Bhritya. So only Lord, the word Lord itself is only coined for the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. There is no Lord for anyone else. It's the element of saying that Ishvara, Parama, Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha means the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, present as it is, as in person. So, Praja Padravam Lakshya, this is actually, Praja means subjects. So, this particular words are these are the keywords. In this particular verse, there are 4 or 5 keywords, which is very important. One is Praja Padrava Lakshya, then the next word is Matamcha Vasudevasya. So these two are pretty important. And then the third one is Upadravam, means a lot of disturbance. These are very important words, especially in this particular shloka. It has a lot of connection with many other shlokas in different places. We have also come across this particular Upadravam in different places. Even in the first canto, first chapter, we had come across. So 2 Brahmastra weapons were released, one by Arjuna, one by Ashwatthama. So Arjuna basically did not release it for the sake of destruction. He left an weapon which can actually retract the already existing weapon on the air. So it was creating a lot of catastrophe, lot of havoc in the system. People were suffering, and there was no other choice. And then the Lord immediately said, Arjuna, please retract it. So immediately he had to release another Brahmastra weapon which can actually get attached, and then it can be withdrawn. So these, you see the kind of signs they had. These are all weapons, even though it's material in its nature, but it is done through the mantras, and it is so powerful. Just like how Lord Rama just took as a straw of grass, a blade of grass, and he created into a Brahmastra weapon. And these are something which the current modern scientists definitely will not know. They are only thinking of something like chemicals and all that put together. It becomes a nuclear fusion and fission and whatever, and then come out with a nuclear weapon and then say, this particular weapon is very destructive and it can destroy the entire world. And that's what Prabhupada is straightforward saying. Prabhupada is talking about in 1970s. This is a purport which Prabhupada wrote almost in 70s. And we are 50 years away. And then people are talking about nuclear weapons, are threatening for a World War III, and so many things like that. But the truth is, Prabhupada is straightforwardly, openly saying, you guys cannot do anything. You cannot destroy the world, whatever you attempt, because it happens because the will of Krishna, right? Even the material nature cannot do anything because Krishna has many energies. Material energy is only one part of the energy, right? He has many energy. Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shruyate. He has got so much energy, so much of influence in everything. Narayana Paravyaktat. He doesn't belong to this material energy. He is above the material energy. Material energy is subservient to the Supreme Lord's will. That's why it is said that Tena Vinatrinadapi na chalati. Not a blade of grass can shake without the will of the Lord. So this is possible for us to understand when we become a devotee. But if you are not a devotee, or if you are not ready to accept the surrendering practice to Krishna's lotus feet, we will never understand. We will be rebellious to the entire system and the process and procedures, right? During Yudhishthira Maharaj's rule, they were so happy. People, subjects were so happy. That is why this term called Yata Raja Tata Praja comes into picture, because when the king is a pure, beautiful, pure administrator, he has got all good conducts, then automatically the prajas also will follow the king. Here we can practically see from the Vedic times in the Mahabharata practice that when Yudhishthira Maharaj was on rule, the entire world was so auspicious, so happy, and there was no concept of even scorching heat or biting or pinching cold. It was not the case. Neither the people were very anxious or anxiety about their livelihood. In today's world, if you can practice, that is according to the Vedic system. The government had to look after all the welfare, well-being of the ultimate goal of life of every single citizen, whether it is an animal or it's a plant or it's a human. That was the spiritual practice which was inculcated into the system by the great rulers who were just pure servants of the Supreme Lord. You can imagine. But the current situation, current trends, the modern government, Prabhupada actually explains. We will come to know in another few slokas how the modern civilizations and modern governments are all planning. They are pretty much anxious to give some kind of material comforts, but it's not the case because the educational pattern is completely destroyed. In the olden days, the educational pattern was you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. That was inculcated in each and every living person. But here, it's not the case. The society was divided exclusively into 4 varnas and ashramas, right? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, right? This is what the Lord had decided. And Lord had already created all these kind of practices so that the process and procedures are rightly followed in each of the ashramas and varnas. And then they used to practice it very, very religiously. Then you see a massive difference which came across. Now we don't have anything. There is no concept at all. Everyone is a Shudra at this moment of time. Kalo Shudra Sambhava. Right? What happens? Because of that, all kinds of Upadravas will come. A lot of disturbance. That is Kali Yuga for us. Kali Yuga fundamentally itself means that the people will be more and more unhappy, not happy. This is the truth. We cannot escape from it. Prayena alpaishu kalo asmin yuge janaha. Srimad Bhagavatam first canto explains this. Every single person, alpa ayushu. There was never a question of a son dying before the father. But the situation now is completely extremely, extremely pathetic. Right? This is the situation at this moment. Alpayushu means short-lived, short memory, idiotic vision. Right? Blind carrying the blind. Prabhupada explains this. Leaders are blind, so the subjects are also, because they have no clue about what the school of spirituality is. They don't have the differentiation factor of what is spiritual being or the dead matter. Where will they teach? Where will they learn these things? Both are absolutely absent. Someone is talking about big, big things. This one is there, that one is there, this one. See, that is what the leaders should be. The leaders means they should be followed. Mahajana enagata sampantaha. There is no way. These kind of big material educations and institutions are kept. Of course, we are not against these kind of studies, which will help us to sustain ourselves because it's been created before our birth itself. And we cannot say. There are some universities like Oxford, Cambridge, and all that. They are from 1600, 1700, so many, thousands and hundreds and 200 years old. The oldest university in the entire world is Takshashila. And after that is BHU, Banaras Hindu University. These are extraordinary universities where spirituality was actually evolved for every student. But here is not the situation. But we need to bring ourselves in speed in parallel. You should have both material education so that we can sustain because of the current situation and trends at which we are in living, but we cannot let go our spiritual practice. That will ruin us. We cannot run our lives in one leg. So Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining that one who identifies himself as an inert body composed of mucus, bile, and air, who assumes his wife and family are going to be permanently with him. One thinks that the earthen image or the land at which the person is born is worshipable, or sees a place of pilgrimage as a mere water, but never identifies or understands himself with the feeling of kinsman's worships and why we should worship and go to these kind of places of pilgrimage to acquire the absolute truth, right? That person is Saeva Gokaraha. He is nothing but a cow or an ass. Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining that. In 10th canto, we will come up. As day progress, as Bhagavatam chapters go away more and more, we are going to get massive information of the realistic pattern of how we need to lead our life with. Every subject is actually touched upon in the Srimad Bhagavatam. You don't need to go anywhere else for a source. And this particular Bhagavatam chapters are actually an eye-opener to our reality and realistic living pattern. If anyone practices Srimad Bhagavatam as it is, they are not going to be cheated at all. Because the truth is exposed. And truth is only this, which is very clearly being mentioned by Srimad in the Srimad Bhagavatam by Vasudev. Taking some total of all the Vedic creams, given instructions purely by his spiritual master Narada Rishi. What more we want? We don't need anything else. We are seeing all this in our lifetime, right? We are practically seeing this through great examples that we can actually see this. How in this particular case, right, Ashwatthama himself is showing a very non-Brahminical standards. That's not expected from him. It is actually said that he is none other than an enemy to his own family. Chanakya Pandit actually explains in when he was actually governing as the prime minister to Chandragupta Maurya, the Maurya dynasty, right, which constitutes Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh, all those areas. Of course, he was the emperor of the world at that point of time because he was phenomenally brilliant. But his brilliance, Chandragupta Maurya's brilliance, came only based on his prime minister's wisdom. He wrote many books, Kautilya, Arthashastra, and all these things. Books on economies, book on politics, books on espionage. All these things were given in detail. He explains, Chanakya Pandit explains that a father is in debt, then that means he is enemies to others in the family. So Prabhupada explains in one of the lectures, he says, Drini Karta Pitru Shatru. What happens if a person, if the father actually builds up a lot of debts, then he is going to be an enemy in his own family. Mata Shatru Vacharani. If a mother, either she is a prostitute or if she marries second time when the children are very elderly, then she is also an enemy. Right? And Chanakya Pandit gives a much more very strong and constant pressured point. He says that with his own wife, he had an experience of bad experience. What did he say? Not with him as in he, but he explains that Rupati Bharya Shatru. With someone's wife is a very beautiful, that also she is an enemy. Putru Shatru Apanditaha. Means if one is a rascal or if someone who doesn't respect the educational values, the wisdom values, then obviously he becomes an enemy in the family. So all this is all inside in one single family. Imagine our leaders, so-called the society leaders, what is their practice? How do we keep them as a role model? We can practically, for sure, we cannot even contemplate to have all these guys as our role models, whether in America, whether in England, whether in Australia, or any place you go. None of the celebrities can be kept as a role model because there is no way they are. What they practice is not what they are preaching, right? Here is a practice that Putra Shatru Apanditaha. There is a non-Brahminical standards which Ashwatthama is following. So then he becomes the real natural enemy in his own family, right? So what is the solution to all this? Prabhupada explains that Matam cha Vasudevasya. That is my opinion, right? 6th chapter, last verse. Bhaktaram yagna tapasyam sarvalokamaheshwaram surdam sarvabhutanam gyatva shanti rittiti. That's the peace formula, right? So we are going with whatever is Krishna saying that. Ma suchaha, asamshayaha, na samshayaha. Everywhere Krishna gives this kind of a very, very clear case. Instruction which is not doubtious. It's straightforward, practical, pragmatic. And he gives this. What is the instruction he is giving? Matamcha Vasudeva say. If his opinion is what he is trying to convey, we simply have to accept. How do we accept? Through the three tenets, Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. They are not going to speak something else. They are also speaking the same thing as what Krishna is wanting to. What is the same thing which he is telling? He is telling the same thing. Spiritual masters are also saying the same thing, that at this point of time, this entire cosmic manifested here at this point of time where we are is not great. It's a full of dosha nidhi. Kaler doshe nidhe rajan asti ekot mahadgunaha kirtanadi evasya krishnasya mukta sangha paramrajay. There is no escape for everyone, anyone. There is no other options available. If that options were available, the Shastras would have given us. But they are not giving that option at all. They are only suggesting this as an option. So how much seriousness is this matter? How much seriously we need to accept this? Because this is not a point of wasting our opportunity or time. We must start somewhere. We should start that and then start our kickoff, right? Somewhere, start small, but stick to the standards. Our practice are based on International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Srila Prabhupada has established this platform. Srila Prabhupada has given us all this process, procedures, and all that which we need to follow the rules and regulations, like four regulatory principles, chanting Hare Krishna every day, taking shelter of Tulsi Maharani, making sure that we are all with the devotees, taking Krishna Prasadam, and making sure that at least we visit one of the holy places of the Lord whenever we get time, so that we get meditation, our meditation becomes stronger in the practice of a resolute determination to serve the Lord. Because if we don't take these kind of things and become very sentimental in our practice, oh, I can do this, I can do that, or I can have the thought process like I am a Sanatani, I am a Hindu, I am this thing. No. Prabhupada, if that's the case, he would have written all those things in his books, right? In Prabhupada explains very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita preface, right? He's saying it's a non-sectarian religion. We have got nothing. That is Sanatana. Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Mama Vamsha Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Manasastrani Indriyani Prakriti Shani Karshati. This is very important for us. We get to know all these things only when a Shastric personality like Srila Prabhupada gives us so finer details and aspects of Krishna-centric life, how we need to do. So we just simply have to follow them. And if we don't follow, then we are not making ourselves a great personality, but we are making ourselves as a scapegoat. Because someone else is using us as a guinea pig. No, that is not wanted. No one will respect us. Because that's not what it is. This is Prabhupada's opinion on us. And he is expecting all of us to practice this in such a manner that today, in this current situation or trends of the material world in which we are living in, there is many, many levels of challenges in our own family. No one is going to say that, okay, I'm Mr. Perfect, I'm living a wonderful, really, really royal life. I have no problems at all. No one can bolster ourselves. We can't bolster ourselves because there is no way. We know it, what's the realities. Challenge is not outside, challenge is inside our own house. This is exactly what is happening to Ashwatthama. Even though he had all the privileges of being born in a Brahminical family, having a fantastic father, and coming from a beautiful lineage of great grandfathers and Gautama Rishi's grandson, but still association makes a lot of difference. A person who was supposed to follow the tenets of Brahminical level, he just let go. Even his own friend who adopted him could not be satisfied with his act because he killed all the 5 children who were sleeping. Duryodhana was furious. You said the last line of my own lineage, you have killed it. What kind of a personality you are? He didn't want to even see him. He said, get away. This is the kind of nature in which we are living in. You can imagine these are all not common people. They are all giants. In Dwapara Yuga, the people were really, really giants. All these people, Lord Krishna was 12 feet. Lord Krishna was there at 12 feet height. Arjuna was almost 11 feet. And you can talk about these kind of warriors. They were phenomenal. I don't know, maybe we have heard a little bit here and there about some Western philosophy or Latin or Greek philosophy in Iliad and Odyssey and all those. Maybe someone can give us some more information about all this. I think even in Wales, there is a place called Cornwall, right? That comes from a very, it's a wall being built for someone who's a giant. I can't remember or recollect the history behind it, but I do know that something to do with like Golith, Goliath or whoever, so something like that. So that was the story. Maybe Pratap Maya Prabhu is very often, he goes there to Cornwall. So he may be able to give us some more details about that particular city which is got created. Just beyond even before the Vikings. So, but here we are talking about kings who are very illustrious. Yudhishthira Maharaj. We are talking about a rule where the entire world is at peace, right? This is what we used to call it as Ramarajya. When Lord Rama was present, and Lord Rama actually presented the world, how the world must actually conduct. But here is a situation that the entire world is on a very peril situation because people are not ready to understand that they are not this body, they are a spirit soul. Their features are only bodily concern. Every nook and corner, you see, people are enacting themselves only in this concept that I'm this body, I'm not this spirit soul. They are not bothered about anything else. Whether you take a movie, whether you talk to some person, he's only thinking about I'm this body. They have no clue about where the world, where they are, what they are constituted of, right? How do you live a life with these kind of people? That is why this sadhu sangha is very essential, because sadhu sangha means you are all the time only meditating on Krishna, please protect me at every given point of time. Padam padam yat vipadam natesham. Every step of my life is danger. I know that I'm going to fail guaranteedly. I have no one else to take shelter. I have only you to take shelter of. Arjuna just simply did that. Such a brilliant example, right? Arjuna showed an example of how we need to lead our life with. He did not question Krishna, why should I do this act of retracting the Brahmastra weapon? He did not even contemplate immediately. Spontaneously, that's the word you can use, spontaneously. He just simply threw the weapon and retracted it back. He was not bothered about, okay, let me ask him why I should do this, what is the output of this, what is the result of this. He didn't bother about it. Krishna just simply said, send the Brahmastra weapon to retract. That's all over. Because these are the devotees of the Lord, they automatically know what the Lord wants. That is a first-class devotee. Prabhupada explains this in the Nectar of Instruction and also in Nectar of Devotion, that there are 3 levels of devotees. Even among devotees, there are 3 levels. There is a first-class devotee who actually just simply observes. That is Uttama, the Madhyama, and Kanishta. So in that Uttama level, the devotees absolutely know everything what the Lord wants them to do. They don't have to know. Just by the glimpse of the eyes of the Lord or just the raise of the eyebrows, they know that what the Lord is expecting. Such finer aspect of practice. The next level is Madhyama Adhikaris. They are, of course, they are also great devotees, but there are some people who are to be told. The Kanishta Adhikaris are laziest guys, and they can do. We are all in that level. When Prabhupada says and chant Hare Krishna in the morning, they say, okay, let me try doing this later. You procrastinate it because you don't want. No one wants to do a devotion service because it's a pain. But even in the material world, no pain, no gain. And in the Shastras is very clearly mentioning that that these things which you do is as an austerity, as a practice, automatically what happens is that may be a poison at the start, but it's a nectar at the end. But whereas this entire world and globe in which we are moving around is completely feeling of nectar. It is not nectar, it is a feeling of nectar. Just like if you go to this website, uh, whether it's BBC, Reading, or any Swindon or any place where there is a weather report, they will like that. It's cold right now, but it feels like it's -2, right? They mentioned this with a caveat. But if you go outside, it'll be super warm. I don't know from where these fellows get and consolidate it and put it. And it'll be super, super hot. And they will say it is going to snow in 2 hours. I will be wondering, where is this going to come? Right? Predictions are absolutely crap. Why? Because practice is not in place. How do you expect? Even in astrology, there is deductive astrology, there is predictive astrology. Surya Siddhanta explains this. Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada actually mentions this. And he stopped it. He said, that's not going to help us. 3 people you should never believe. This is a fact. Prabhupada explains this. First one is the politicians. Of course, we don't have to be told. Second one is the astrologers. Third one is the doctors. All the 3 fellows, they will not accept the supremacy of Krishna. So then why bother about them? Keep them away. And do only that which is most needed. So here, in this particular verse, in this particular purport, Prabhupada explains very, very importantly, vitally, that we need to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Matamcha Vasudevasya. Whatever Krishna's opinion is, that is what it counts. That is what matters. Whoever can say anything in this world, we should simply say, is this coming from the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna's lotus mouth? Am I to simply accept this? This is what the way in which we need to accept the words from. Then automatically our entire world in which we have built our empire will rest and sustain better. Otherwise, it will just collapse like pack of cards. It's guaranteed. There is no one who is going to question that for sure. And even if they question, it's not going to happen on their way. Because Shastras also give another information and an impetus to this. The way in which we need to conduct our life is from following the footsteps of the Acharyas. That is why Bhagavad Gita 4.34 explains that Pariprashnena seve upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshana. If we don't take that lotus feet of the spiritual masters who are representative of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, we cannot even understand or contemplate to lead a life in this world at this moment of time, because it is going to give us a lot of pain. Today, we are actually building a castle, building our empire, building our a palace, considering that this is going to stay forever. But it's not. We are very sorry to say, we are making a big mistake of that. The same love and care and happiness which is being generated by our own family members are going to produce the same amount of destruction, same amount of unhappiness, same amount of very unsatisfying practice and procedures of our own life. That is why Prabhupada says that detach from here, attach to the Supreme Lord. If you keep Krishna in the center of your activities, then we are saved. If we keep Krishna in the center of our words, of deeds and actions, then we are at the safest point of our life. If we don't do that, automatically the same happiness which is generating now at this moment of time, which is flickering in its nature, will bring a distress to us. It can come through our own children. It can come through our own parents. It can come through our own selves. It can come through all of our spouses. And in our own world in which we have built up this castle. Akasha Pushpa. Prabhupada says phantasmagoria. This is the word he uses. Serious subject, right? It's not so easy to absorb or or even contemplate on it, take a time off. Go sit yourself in a black, dark room. Close your eyes, much more darker. See if you can see a ray of light in all that. We came alone here in this world. We have to go out of this world alone. Now, example of Ashwatthama. He doesn't have his father now. Let him gone. Right? Ashwatthama is all alone. So he is not in a position to be guided. He cannot be guided. Why? Because that the situation is completely wrong. And we don't have that kind of privilege because even our fathers are not exposed to this practice. Maybe our grandfathers, maybe, but our fathers definitely not. But if someone has been practicing on a very religious, very orthodox, very Brahminical, then that's a great option. But otherwise, we can practically see that even our own parents have not practiced in the level at which Prabhupada is expecting. So now who is going to guide us? There is no one else. We don't have any guidance option at all. But somehow or the other, by the grace of the Supreme Lord, we have Srila Prabhupada's books. We have Prabhupada's disciples still in this planet. They are the ones who are exposing us to the reality of this realm in which we are living. And automatically, we will get attached to that instructions of Srila Prabhupada and instructions of our spiritual masters, instructions of these great devotees who are showing us by example and simply following with them. Our realistic life will get exposed. It opens up a door to the spiritual world where once you go inside, you don't have to come back again. Yat gatva na nivartante tattamam paramam mama. Till that period of time, we are in contemplation to a larger extent of how much of effort you put in through. This is not going to get you anywhere. You can fight yourself to say that I will do everything independently. I have the capabilities. I am extremely intelligent. And I can do things on the best of my abilities, and I don't need anyone's support. You can't. There are many examples and many cases in our own family lives, right? Like Prabhupada, when Prabhupada was there were many devotees who had to stay outside in the Grihastha ashram and all that. So sometimes the husband is very caring and husband is very conducive to Krishna consciousness, but wife may not be, or the wife be, husband may not be, or they both consider as a different situation in which they are living in. But there is no guidance. Our parents definitely are not fit enough for teaching us the truth of spiritual practice at this moment of time. I am very open to state that. Very few parents have that capability to say that they have the ability to teach their children what spiritual practice is. Otherwise, we don't have any parents at this moment of time who can actually give us the guidance because they are in their own world. Their own world is 9 o'clock prime TV time. You go and sit, they will be sitting more than you 24/7, 365 days. They are completely attached with the prime time TV. Tell me which parents are there who doesn't want to see all these things and then focused on reading Bhagavatam, Mahabharat, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayanam, Srimad Chaitanya Charitamrita, or any other revealed scriptures. How many parents are there in this world, in our own families? I'm not rude, but the reality is that it's kicking badly. I want to ask a question to my father or a mother. They themselves are saying, no, I don't know about this because this is what I learned from my father and mother. That is blind, understanding the blind, without anything philosophical or anything which is concrete in its understanding, without the evidence of Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. How can I accept? This is the fact we need to keep going with. That is why here Arjuna simply accepted whatever the Lord wanted him to do it, but Ashwatthama did not have any guidance factor. He did not have anyone who can guide him in the right, proper manner. He did that. He simply did that because he was trying to save himself from the imminent danger of death. But he did not know whether he did it right or wrong, even though he just simply did it. And he does half-baked knowledge. It's not a full-baked knowledge. It's half-baked because he only know how to throw the weapon, but he never knew how to retract it. But Arjuna on the other side is being guided by the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna himself. He's been guided by those spiritual masters and those masters who actually took him into their tutelage. That's why he is what he is. Of course, these are all in many levels, it is pastimes, but still, we need to understand an example or the scenario in which it's been presented to us for our own well-being and understanding. Okay, I'll stop here. If there is any questions, comments, clarifications, or maybe reflections, you can take it from there. Because this is a very serious subject, and going forward, it is going to be more and more serious. Because Bhagavatam is not going to talk about stories, just the stories. It is full of wisdom, full of educational values to every level, to a child, to an adult, to an elderly person, for everyone. That is why we have to say Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We have to take shelter of Bhagavatam. And when we take shelter of Bhagavatam, our life will be blooming like Vasanta Panchami. Till that period of time, there is winter for sure. Shishi Rishtu. We will be now Vasanta Ritu will start. You know how the spring is, the most beautiful period of time. But we are suffering. We can see that practically around us, including ourselves. We need to take shelter of someone. Take shelter of the spiritual master. Take shelter of Srila Prabhupada's books. Take shelter of the devotees. Take shelter of Krishna Prasadam. Take shelter of the holy name. Then our life is a super success. In a matter of 20 years to 25 years, we will see the Lord face to face. How does it feel? Great feeling. At least to me, I feel awesome feeling. I'm actually looking for the day when that I get a chance to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna himself. It's just a matter of time. I will definitely attempt for it. Whether I'm successful or not, it's not in my hands. But I will definitely attempt. I would want to see the Supreme Lord, and then if I get a chance to talk to him, I will probably tell him that I made a mistake. And it was a very heavy mistake that I let go your association. Your spiritual masters are representative of their association. And I wanted to enjoy myself. And I got stuck here. So I don't know about others, but at least I can talk for myself, right? So that's the key for our success. It is not difficulty. You should not think that this is not an approachable or achievable task. It is definitely possible. As Prabhupada also used to say, material world or material life is impossible. But spiritual world may be a little difficult, but still it's capable, it's possible. Okay. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anyone has any comments?
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Yeah, very inspiring.
How much inspiring, Mataji?
A lot, actually.
How can you give an example of how it got inspired to you?
Well, I will try to keep my spiritual practice strong.
That's one thing. What else you can do?
As guided by Srila Prabhupada, I will try to follow.
This element of trying is not a very good practice. It's called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Pattern. You will only try and you say tomorrow that, okay, I tried and it didn't succeed. We have been empowered already. We are all here in this particular window is because that you are all serious practitioners. Krishna has given us a chance. If you are not serious now, you will never become serious later. We are already touching 40, and tomorrow is 50, day after tomorrow is 60. And where else you are going to live your life with? It's just a matter of time we will be ending up in a bed, and no one even bother or cares to come to us to take care of us. But we are more interested in others than ourselves. So this is our chance. This is our element of practice. Let's do it together. These are all, we are all there. This teamwork is dream work.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else have any question, reflection, comments?
Okay, Pratamaya Prabhu, over to you for announcements, if there is.
We have Nityananda Triadashi next Saturday at the Spencer's Wood Village Hall. So starting at 6 o'clock. So yeah, if you haven't registered, please register for your attendance and any offering that you'd like to make for the festival next Saturday for Nityananda Triadashi.
Are we circulating the flyers?
They have been, yeah, they should be on the groups. We'll post them again today with the registration link. And that's at Spencer's Wood Village Hall, 6 p.m. next Saturday, this Saturday coming.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna.
James Prabhu is here, but I don't know whether, no, Dom is not here.
But I have a question.
Okay.
We hear about like navigating life by keeping Krishna at the center, and I feel like it's something that I've heard a lot, but like really trying to imbibe it like in our lives, like practically. I guess it's following the process Prabhupada's given, but I feel like that's like something more I need to meditate on, is understanding like how to live a Krishna centric life in all our activities and kind of 24/7. I don't know if you could share more on that, but I feel like it's something I hear a lot, but I haven't fully realized.
Realization don't come in one day. It is a lifetime investment because this is a lifestyle. It's a practice. It's a lifestyle practice. For a person who is born in the Western world, it's not a dogma, but it has never been imbibed in their childhood times. What is not learnt at 5 will never be able to be learnt at 50, right? You can't bend it. When you are able to bend at 5, then automatically you'll be able to bend at 50. But now, there are some things which you have been taught in your childhood days, and that is exactly opposite is what Srila Prabhupada has told us. He has told us completely exactly opposite. He is saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, but we have done all that. So now we have to erase what we have learned and we have to restart where we have left. So, but Krishna consciousness is such a lifestyle that from day one of your Krishna conscious practice, automatically Krishna is already taken over you. And he is trying to guide you in that way in which what is being explained here, that keep Krishna in the center of our activity. I'll give you a simple example. We drink water, correct? This is normal for our own sustenance. It's a simple example in our life. So what do? We just go to the fountain and we just keep our glass and then take water and drink. But how many of us think about Krishna when we are taking water? We are drinking water. Hardly. But if you can meditate on that, Krishna is told in the Gita that I am the taste of water. Correct? Krishna is saying no. So then I am the taste of water. Then are we relishing Krishna's blessings? That Krishna, thanks for that you are giving me a water. I'm able to take and make sure my thirst is all gone. We don't do that. Next example I'll give you. We have maybe, I don't know how much cooking you know. I'm giving a basic example of everyone which we can actually practice of, right? Or we buy a cake, or we buy a apple or an orange or some bananas or something. We normally have a tendency, moment we see that, we have already decided that we need to make this, we need to make that, and we need to eat with this, we need to eat with that. Our contemplation is more to satisfy our senses and sense enjoyments, seeing the sense objects. For a person, banana is a sense object. For a person, a girl is a sense object. For a girl, there is a boy who is a sense object. But naturally, we are only trying to safeguard our senses in order to achieve what we want is an achievement. But the truth is not that. The truth is completely different. Yet karoshi, yet dasnashi, yet juhoshi, dadasi, yet tapasasi kaunteya, tat kurushva mat arpanam. Krishna is trying to tell us that whatever you are going to do it even as an austerity, or if it is an offering, just make sure that you do that as mine. Then you are not eating sin. Otherwise, you are going to take it. So the way in which we have to deal or manage our lifestyle is Arjuna was there in the battlefield. Arjuna did not stand in the chariot and was thinking about Krishna all the time. He was more interested in the war. But he is offering the entire war's effort on a day-to-day basis to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. We can say then see an example here. Ashwatthama did because of despair. Arjuna did because of not despair, but because of due respect and the words of the spiritual master for him. Right? He explained, he did not take him as, oh, Krishna is my friend. He did not deal that. That element of practice was over. He took that words and very clearly said, you are my spiritual master. Right? Nimitta matram bhava sabya sachin. He was ready. He was simply an instrument in Krishna's hands. And he took it in such a manner that he didn't question at all. So he immediately threw the Brahmastra. It's not a simple thing, throwing a Brahmastra on air. It's going to generate maximum amount of energy. And any object which comes nearby, it suctions that energy on that particular particle into its own. And it's going to become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, like a giant form. So, but here, our own lifestyle can start with small things. Small drops make an ocean. Every little thing helps, right? So, how do we do that? Is by seeing people who are doing that. We take many things for granted in our life. If we are a serious practitioner, if you want to become serious, if you want to see Krishna this lifetime, take it serious. Take your life serious. Mold it in that manner that you become more and more Krishna-centric in your activities, dealing with your own children, dealing with your own spouses, dealing with your own family members, dealing with all the activities you're dealing with materialistic people, dealing with your own maybe shopkeepers, superstores, anything and everything which you're dealing with, because that's all relationship element. It has to be there. You cannot just leave you cannot say for sure, no, I don't want to deal with anyone. I'm going to sit in my room 24 hours, 365 days. That's not what Krishna wanted us. He wants us to practice in such a manner that we become a positive example and an influx to world in which we are living. We need to bring up fantastic, proper citizenships to the world. And we also have to be a proper citizen. That is what Krishna wants. He wants us to practice in such a manner that people see that, okay, very, very genuine person, truthfully. That is what is the fourth level of accepting the truth, right? We are seekers of the absolute truth. Artha arthakti jignasu jnani. So that person who wants to accept that supreme truth has to practice that. That's the truth. How do we do that? Is on a lowest level to the highest level. In every act we do, we should involve Krishna in the center. You may ask the question, my Prabhu, do you do this? I do around 40 to 70%. That is the range. I'm still not at 100%. I'm still at 40 to 70% because I also have my challenges. I can say 40 is the lowest level which I'm in. 70 is the highest level I'm at this point of time reaching there. So in another few years, probably I will reach around 80. Another few years, I'll probably reach around 90, 95. If I am 100% Krishna conscious in all my activities, in all my challenges, in all my distributional relationships which I have built, then I will not be here in this planet. I will definitely be in Krishna's planet or in the planet where Krishna wants me to be in with his association or with Srila Prabhupada's or with my spiritual master. That's the way we need to build up our system with. Prabhupada was told that Prabhupada, I will do this, I will do that, I can do this, I can do that by Tamarkisha Maharaj. Prabhupada said, go first to the drafts board. He said, first go to the drafts board. And then Prabhupada asked, why do you want to go to the drafts board? Because Prabhupada said, in the spiritual world, you don't have a drafts board. Here you need to plan. Then you prepare. Then you strategize. And then you execute. Plan, do, check, and act. This is the PDCA cycle. So you need to do this. And then you can actually way ahead of anyone. You will be streamlining your life in such a manner that you would not be asking this question at all. Today you are asking me a question because you are a junior to one sense. But tomorrow you will be sitting in this chair and then you will be asked the same question by someone else. You can only answer when you practice. I am very open to say that my level of Krishna consciousness is only from 40 to 70%. It's not enough. It's not at all enough to go back to garden. I know about it, but at least I am at the range, which I think I can probably reach. I am very sure and confident that I will reach, but I'm not really sure at what level I will reach at the end of my life. That's not in my hands. But I am attempting from my side. Krishna wants only that, no? Because karmane vadikaraste mahaphaleshu kadachana. He is not expecting us, come on, you do everything and then you bring yourself here. No. He's saying, it's not my duty to accept the result. If Krishna wants me to stay here, if Krishna wants me to do something else here, I will be here. But at least be honest to yourself. You be honest to your practice. You be honest to your family and express and explain and bring the family together. That's a huge responsibility because it's a relationship. It's the practice. It's not one person in the family. Krishna's family is he's in our family because he's the center of our family. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. So then automatically that builds up, and then we attempt and bring everyone together. That's the way practice is, right? That is Krishna-centric practice. But you need to be consciously doing that. I gave a simple example of water, drinking water from the fountain. But it can be in much lower scale also. Let's say, for example, you've been given a gift by your father, a friend, or whoever is giving. What do we do? Immediately we'll wear or immediately do something. Let's say we have been given a t-shirt or something. I'm just giving a random example. We've been given this t-shirt. So, or we've been given by someone something. Automatically we wanted to use it for ourselves. But we have that mindset, the tendency, the practice, the keenness to give it as an offering to Krishna. Krishna, I got this one. I would want to give it to you first. If you so pleases, I'll wear. You don't need to sit and ring a bell and put an tulsi and then do it as an offering unto you. That's not needed. But you can equally contributedly, you can automatically connect with Krishna from the heart. That is the Paramatma connection. The Paramatma connection doesn't happen like, oh, no, Paramatma is somewhere in the corner. I don't need to bother about it. No. Paramatma connection is that even before the Lord wants anything to be done, that is what every living entity is actually bound to do. The other bounded tree, the bird is sitting and waiting and watching. How will this other bird turn towards me to do all these things? And Prabhupada is teaching us by solid example. Every single Vaishnava is actually ending up to do this. This is the need and natural practice. I'm sure that you will be able to do it, and every one of us here in this room can definitely do it. But this is the way it is. If you are a serious practitioner, just take it. Otherwise, you are not going anywhere, man. I'm serious, I'm sure. Not just you, not me. No one is going out anywhere. We are stuck here. We have put a super glue into ourselves. And when we get up also, even the super glue, the chair is coming with us. That's a challenge. I hope this answers you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very thank you very much for the answer and class. Thank you.
Okay. All right, if it's all done, good. Let's take a break and get on to our services. But Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Sitana Premanande. We'll see you all on Saturday. Nityananda Trayadashi is fasting till noon. We also have Advaita Acharya apparently coming on. That's also fasting till noon on Tuesday. Today is Vasanta Panchami. You can do a nice offering for Krishna. This is very, very beautiful. Lord Jagannath loves all these things. If you have a marigold, if you have chrysanthemum, yellowish in color, you can please offer. That will be very, very sweet and Krishna loves it. If you get a chance, please try to connect on Mayapur TV and watch Sridham Mayapur, how the lordships are dressed tomorrow. It will be fully in yellowish outfit. And on Tuesday is Advaita Acharya Appearance Day, so fasting. So definitely please do the offering to the Lord. Pray to the Lord, pray to Acharya, Advaita Acharya, and ask him to bless you. He is Lord Shiva himself, Mahavishnu himself. Bless you in Krishna loves, in Krishna Prema, and then able to chant nicely. Please, Srila Prabhupada. We are all ambassadors to Srila Prabhupada. So we are representing on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. So if they all can bless us, then we go a long way. Nityananda Trayadashi is an Abhishekam, and there is a lot of nice things like drama and of course Krishna Prasadam. So please take this opportunity to be with the devotees. Join all of us. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
His Grace Vishakharanga Prabhu ki jai.
Next Saturday is
Yes, Mataji. You had something?
Ekadashi.
What is it? Repeat.
Ekadashi.
So I suggested some time back that we all have to install this particular app called GCal. So to my knowledge, Ekadashi is falling on.
Saturday.
Wait a minute. I'm checking my phone because even I'm not so. Vasanta Panchami is today. Advaita Acharya Appearance Day is on Tuesday. Navami, Dashami, Ekadashi. So Saturday is also Ekadashi.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's Vara Dadashi, and Vara Dadashi feast is on Sunday. But Nityananda Trayadashi is we are celebrating. It's not that it's on 8th. 10th is Nityananda Trayadashi. I just wanted to get this clearly clarified. We are celebrating little earlier than that. But Nityananda Trayadashi is next Monday.
So Monday is half fasting.
Monday is fasting. Half fasting.
Okay. So Saturday.
Saturday is Ekadashi.
Yeah, full fasting.
No. We'll have Ekadashi feast. So you can take Krishna Prasad, Ekadashi Prasad. But we are celebrating Nityananda Trayadashi little earlier. That's all. Because it's a weekend. Otherwise, we'll have to wait for another 7 days, 5 days to celebrate. I hope it's clear.
Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai. Haribol, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu
Bye, Vachapati.
Vaishnavya Namo Namaha.